Coming up next on Gospel Music Today, Ken visits with Kenny Gates. Welcome back to Gospel Music Today.
We had the opportunity to visit with Kenny Gates and his wife Cindy in their home not long ago. Kenny sang for many years, sang and played the piano with the Blue Ridge Quartet. That's up next on Gospel Music Today. We are on the road today. We're not too far from home. We're in Inman, South Carolina, and we are talking to a gospel music legend, Kenny Gates. And Kenny, we want to welcome you to Gospel Music Today.
Well, thank you, Ken. We have something in common. We have almost the same. We've got the same initials.
That's right.
But I would like to thank you and your wonderful wife for dropping in today and sharing some of my memories.
What was the Blue Ridge Quartet your first quartet? Did you sing before that?
No, it was the only professional quartet I ever sang in, or played for, rather. But my beginning started back at a little church where we lived next door to the church. And one Sunday night, we had a quartet visit our church, and we were there, and the leader of the group, his name was Paul Collins, and I didn't know it at the time, but he was a music teacher. He was a representative of the James D. Vaughn Music Company in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, and he taught private piano lessons, voice lessons, and held singing schools. So that's where I actually started. My mother talked to him that night about me taking piano lessons because she had been trying to teach me some notes and my lines and spaces and things, and she thought it was time to turn me over to a teacher. So that's where I got started, by taking lessons there. And later on, I went to his singing schools, and this was even before my voice changed. I in the singing schools, I sang with the ladies. I was the alto singer.
All right.
And I guess my first experience with a quartet was one weekend. His quartet was booked in up in around Boone, North Carolina, up in the mountains. And his tenor singer got sick and couldn't go, so he called. He came to my house. We didn't have a phone. Came by and asked if I could go with them on that trip over the weekend and sing tenor in their group.
So how old were you then?
I was about 10 years old.
Whoa. All right.
But I could sing the alto part, and that's the same thing as the tenor singers would sing.
Yeah,
So
good.
that was my first experience in a quartet.
Wow. When was your first full-time, what year was that with the Blue Ridge Quartet?
Well, in 1949, the Blue Ridge Quartet had relocated to Spartanburg, South Carolina, and David Reese had been playing piano for him for some time before that, and he had got married, and he was going to get out of the quartet business, and he got a job as a radio announcer in a radio station in Newton, North Carolina. And the tenor singer of the group was from the same part of the country I was, up in Lincoln, North Carolina, Lincoln County. And he remembered me from the part-time quartet I was with up there. And he recommended me, and I came down here, and they took me on a 2-week trial. And I've been here ever since. Still trying out, I guess.
That was a long 2-week trial, wasn't it?
Yeah, turned into 28 years.
In the early days, the Blue Ridge Quartet was involved in radio.
Right.
What did you guys do on the radio?
Well, we had 2 radio programs a day done live. The first radio program of the day was along with the early morning guy. Every radio station had an early morning man, and so he wanted something to make his show a little different. So we'd be there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and he came in at 5. And at 6 o'clock, we were in the studio, and he would play some records and maybe do a weather report and then send it into the studio, and we'd do a couple of songs, then back to him, and then he would do some more news and weather and farm reports and maybe play a record or two, then back into the studio again for a couple more Blue Ridge records, songs. Yeah. And we did that for an hour every morning. Then in the afternoon, then we had our own personal 15-minute program, 4:45 in the afternoon. And we were on that radio program for years. Yeah. And from that, we advertised for concert programs, and we worked, I guess we worked every little church and school in the whole county and several counties around.
I can imagine. What was the radio studio like? I imagine you guys one microphone.
Well, for a long time it was only one microphone. Later on they started using two, one for the piano and one for the singers.
You really had to sing.
Yeah, oh yeah. And it was they had a boom mic, and two would stand on one side of the mic and two would stand on the other side. Yeah.
Blue Ridge Quartet also involved in the very early days of television.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, in the late 50s, the WSPA, the radio station here in Spartanburg that we were on, they had applied for a television license. And then the late 50s, they went on the air, and we were in their original schedule. And we were very lucky in a way. They scheduled us for 7 o'clock on Tuesday nights. And we followed the CBS News at 6:30, and then we were on at 7. And it was a neat thing for us because there was only 3 TV stations in the area. We were on one of them, and the people watching, if they watched the CBS News, if they didn't particularly want to see us, then they had to get up out of their chairs and walk to the TV and turn the knob to change the channel. So we got a lot of listeners that didn't even want to watch us.
That's right. Was that live in those days?
All live, yes, sir.
Wow. Yeah. And how, every night?
It was Tuesday nights.
Okay.
Just once a week.
Yeah. Live television.
Live television. And if you made mistakes, you just had to grin and bear it, you know.
That's right.
There wasn't any backing up, doing it over.
The Blue Ridge Quartet went on the road for the first time in what year?
1946 originally.
Okay. And finally retired?
It was in the early 90s. I'm not sure exactly. It was they went for about 5 years after I had left the group.
Right. Kenny Gates, it's just been wonderful to have you on Gospel Music today.
Thank you, Ken, for thinking of me and wanting to hear my story. I'm, like I say, I'm in my room of memories here, and I love to rehash my old memories. They sure are precious to me, and always will be. Yeah.
We did have a wonderful time visiting with Kenny and Cindy.
Yes, we did, and there was much more to that interview. We could not fit it in on today's program, but we do have the entire interview on our YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and search for Gospel Music Today, you'll be able to watch Kenny Gates and many of his stories from the Blue Ridge Quartet days on our YouTube channel.
I've been out on the internet at absolutelygospel.com, and there's a feature out there with Dion Unthank and the J. Stone Singers. There's also a news ticker there with all the latest Southern Gospel news, and you can find a link to absolutelygospel.com at our website, gospelmusictoday.com.
This is a concert update from Gospel Music Today. Christian Heritage and King's Cross Quartet will sing at Lighthouse Full Gospel Church in Winston, Georgia on March 23 at 6 p.m. You can find all the details at the Gospel Music Today website.
Even if my Lord was near, many times that old tempter, he says, why not turn around? You can't get any farther, all because you're just losing ground. Oh, but I'm not giving up. Oh, no, I'm not turning around. For my to tell me there's been something bothering me. Why is it that old devil, he just won't let God's children be? You see, he has purpose and determined to get right in the way and turn us around the way of life and lead our souls straight. Oh, but I'm not giving up. Oh, no, I'm not turning around. For by the grace of God, I wear the shining crown someday, and I'm gonna keep holding on. Yes, to that nail-scarred hand. Oh, no, I'm not giving up. I know.
Listen to Haase Production Gospel Blog Talk Radio, www.blogtalkradio.com. Haase Production Gospel. We are your internet radio.